Please Don't Destroy, Treasure of Foggy Bottom. So this is the debut feature film from the New York comedy troupe Please Don't Destroy, who, weirdly enough, this is quite odd. If you look at their Wikipedia page, the Wikipedia page that has them on it, it says genres: satire, surreal humour, and off-colour humour.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a very interesting thing. So Ben Marshall, John Higgins, Martin Herlihy started out as a sketch comedy trio in 2017 with Please Don't Destroy My Farm. Then moved
was that
to...
Please Don't Destroy: My Farm?
No, I think at that point that particular show was called Please Don't Destroy My Farm. Then moved on to YouTube, TikTok. It was snapped up by Saturday Night Live, which is a big thing. So the feature is co-produced by Judd Apatow. The three of them play three young adult co-workers who were friends as kids. They're now kicking their heels. One of them lives in the shadow of his dad, who is played by Conan O'Brien from television. One of them is dating a Christian who wants him to get baptized, which he has agreed to do, although clearly not entirely of his own volition. And one of them is just generally unhappy that anything at all has changed from their childhood. Their lives are then reinvigorated through a complex plot twist by resuming the search for lost treasure. This is the search for the treasure of the title,
right?
Upon which they first embarked when they were young and
Could you start again?
Kids. Huh?
Say all that again. I'm confused.
Okay, so now they're sort of young adults kicking their heels, but now they are restarting a search for some lost treasure that they first thought of searching for when they were kids, and they forgot about it because it's a stupid idea. Now suddenly, maybe we do have the key to it. Fine. Okay. That kind of explains it.
Okay, it has some reasonable jokes in there.
Yeah. So,
and Conan O'Brien is funny.
Yes. And that's the thing. There are some reasonable jokes in there. At one point, one of them is described as looking like Tim Burton drew him, which I thought was a funny gag. It's narrated by John Goodman, who starts off the narration, is his voice that you can recognise being familiar. And then he says, incidentally, I'm John Goodman. I was in The Big Lebowski and a ton of other stuff as well, which is quite funny. And then Bowen Yang, who does the George Santos character on George Santos, who is a fictional character who just happens to be in real life, on Saturday Night Live, he has fun as this cult leader that they encounter. So and the humor is kind of generally self-deprecatory. A lot of what it doesn't have is any of the kind of nastiness or aggression of a lot of that kind of bromance stuff that I never like. The sort of hangover-y stuff. It's basically just jokes about themselves being a bit nerdy and a bit dweeby. The thing is, those gags themselves are quite funny. The mechanism of it being a feature film, meaning it has to have a plot, meaning it has to go from this act to this act to this act, is like, okay, fine. And I do get the impression that they're probably at their best doing sketch comedy and doing the stuff that made them famous in the first place. But I went into this with a heavy heart because I thought, because quite often anything that's a spin-off from SNL actually doesn't make great videos. It was fine. But all the stuff that was fine would have been fine whether or not they were halfway up the side of a thing trying to find the treasure of Foggy Mountain, and all the mechanics of the plot. It's just like, all I actually need is the three of them doing that stuff about, they have. I do think that a joke about they might have been European. How do you know they had a certain je ne sais quoi? They were eating pain au chocolat, but that's it. I imagine here it will have fairly minimal impact because I don't imagine that Please Don't Destroy has a high profile.
No.
And I say that as somebody who watches SNL stuff on YouTube. I watch,
I never find it that funny.
I watch Weekend Update because I do find Weekend Update funny.
What's that?
It's a segment of Saturday Night Live in which they do something like a news parody thing, but that's it. Beyond that, so I don't imagine it will have that much traction here. But it was quite cute in certain places, but it didn't need to be a feature.
Why does off-colour?
I know that's what
that means sort of risque jokes.
I believe it does, yeah.
But why? So off-colour.
I don't know if I click on the Google link for off-colour humour.
Yes,
it says this is interesting because I actually never thought off-colour humour, also known as vulgar humour, crude humour, or shock humour, is humour that deals with topics that may be considered to be in poor taste or vulgar.
I know what it is.
I know. I'm just reading the definition. Blue comes from the book, doesn't it? Blue humour comes from do you want the black book or the blue book? It's the blue book is the book with the rude jokes in it. That's an old music hall thing.
Don't know. Yeah. Off-colour. No idea.
Off-colour jokes were used in ancient Greek comedy, apparently.
Thanks very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed
watching it as much as we enjoyed making it. While you're here, check out all the other videos because they're cool too, aren't they?
Yeah, and if you want to keep up to date with everything Kermode and Mayo's Take, then check out our social channels.
I mean, why wouldn't you?
I mean, I would. I have done.
Excellent.